Hey there, everybody. This is John. We are on day 4 of the 100 Days to Code challenge. Yesterday didn't go so well, so hopefully today goes better. We are starting off with applied visual design, decreasing the opacity level of an element. In this one, we were changing the opacity of the link class. I did 10 of these little blurbs tonight, and I'm actually getting ready for another class, which is why I stopped. So I scrolled down to the bottom until I found the links class. It took me a moment. And then of course I had a little bit of spelling issues, which is normal for me. Again, I do want to mention I am doing this off of my iPad just because it's the easiest device I have right now to record the screen. And today is Wednesday. Hoping I'll get this up tonight, but if not, it might not come up till Thursday for you guys. Just know that, as you can see at the top of the video, it was done this Wednesday. And it's July 15th. You will notice I'm still also customizing the channel a little bit. Just trying to get it tweaked back to how I would like it. Okay, so now we're on the text transform one. And in this one, I want to say we were transforming H4 to being uppercase. So I just scrolled down here, added a line, put in the text transform, and I set it to uppercase. Now, this one I had a little bit of an issue with because I forgot how to select, just because that's how my brain is sometimes. So I ended up trying a couple things, it didn't work. I want to say I watched a part of their video, which you should end up seeing here, and then I went and finished it myself. So now I'm going through, this is when I was still trying to guess on my own. Which now I'm going to go and take a view of the get a hint, which was no help to me. I personally, whenever I end up seeing it like that, it just throws me off. So then I ended up going to watch part of the video.
The font size property is used to specify how large the text is in a given element. So for this challenge, we're going to change the font size for each of these heading elements. So I'm going to start that right now. So for the first one, we can just put H1 and then font size. And the font size is going to be 68. I got that number right from the challenge text here. So now what I'm going to do is just copy this. And so now I can just paste it.
And once I saw this, that's all I needed to get me back on where I needed to be. So I hit reset all code. and then I went through and I redid it, which you'll see here in a moment. I probably was checking that notification. You see that pops up every once in a while. I am part of a couple of different groups, and I do help with some different things in my local area. So I was actually checking that on my laptop. I do want to share, I know this isn't CS degree related, but I did officially get ordained, and I have just finished filing the last of the paperwork. So I am legal to perform wedding ceremonies now in Minnesota, which is exciting. Now here you see I'm changing the font size of H1, and then I keep going through and I do it for each of the following, which you'll see here. Just takes me a moment to type it all out. I do want to say that one channel I would highly recommend everyone going and checking out is Christian. He's actually one of the guys who inspired me to try and get back into this. He has a whole Discord and everything, and he just does a lot of good for the community. So I'm doing H5, I got H6 left to do still. So I just did H6 and I go and I like the formatting where there's spaces where I put them. It makes it easier for me to read the code. When it's all spaced out like it is here, for some reason my head is harder to understand the code. It's just a me thing. And I'm sure over time that will probably change. So now we're setting the font weight of each one. So then I just go through on each line, I add a line for each H1, H2 through 6, add the font weight and set it to the corresponding value. I do apologize if you hear the fan in the background. It's been extremely warm out and it's the only way to get air moving around here, so. You should also see coming, I'm hoping by Monday, a proper introduction video for me. So keep an eye out for that. So now we passed that one. Now we're setting the font size of the paragraph text using, the font size selector, which is easy. I just went down and changed it from 10 to 16. And then we're doing line height in the paragraph. I just went down, added the line height, and set it to 25 pixels as it was told to be done. So this one was very straightforward. Now we're on adjusting a hovering state of an anchor tag. So you'll see I sit here for a little bit because I'm going through and I'm reading it. When I'm doing this type of work, I don't have background music or anything playing because I can't focus, at least not right now. So now we're doing changing an element's relative position. Although I did go check to see how many I had done, and I saw that I had missed doing the add a box shadow because that's the one I was having issues with and got frustrated and quit doing yesterday. So I checked how many I had done for the day, and then I came back to this. Every time you see that box pop up on the bottom is because my keyboard finally reconnected or I'm in a spot where I could be typing. Sorry, you hear a truck going by outside. I was just reading through all this and playing with the arrow keys while doing so. This one I had a slight issue with. I flipped what I was supposed to do, which you'll end up seeing here. And then I got it fixed. So now I'm going back to do that one that I missed the other day, which was the box shadow. Adding a box shadow to a card-like element. And we end up doing this to the thumbnail. I forgot how to select thumbnail actually. So you see I try putting it in down actually on the thumbnail itself, which does not work. I then believe I did try and check the wiki, which I do not believe helped me either. I think I ended up watching part of the video, which you'll see if I did, which then reminded me on how to actually do the select. And then with doing the select, I went in, put in the code the way they wanted it, and was able to complete the challenge. Do want to mention, if any of you guys go back and watch any of my old videos, there's some where like one was Kickers. It was a local bar here that no longer existed, went out of business. And then I do believe I may have a couple of my old game videos still up on the channel.
The box
So here
shadow
I
property
ended up
applies one
watching
or
the
more
video
shadows
on
to an
how
element.
to
So this is the
do
box
it, and
shadow
once it showed
property,
how to
and it's kind of like a
select,
drop
then I
shadow.
did it.
So
So
each
I
number
listened to how it
represents
was
something else.
describing
So the
things.
first number is the offset x, and that's how far to push the shadow horizontally from the element. And then the second number, offset y, how far to push the shadow vertically. And then we have the blur radius, the spread radius, and then the color. Now, most of these are optional if you just want to keep the default value. You can also do a comma separator. So if you had a comma here, you can add an entirely new box shadow. So for this challenge, I'm about to show you how to do this challenge here. And what we're going to do is style the element here. So you can see this ID has been added, ID of thumbnail. And instead of example here, I'm going to select the ID of thumbnail.
We also might be taking part of a YouTube original series, Life in a Day, which will be filming our day on July 25th to help share our story. They're making a global documentary. It's being produced by Ridley Scott, directed by Kevin MacDonald. So we're also looking into taking part of that. So we'll keep you posted on how it goes. When we do the Life in a Day, we'll post the video. Also, when I get back to my actual college classes, which will be end of August, I'm gonna maybe do a recording of a day in the week of an SNHU college student. Mine is going to be different than some others because I'm actually a online student. I go to school through southern New Hampshire, but I am actually based out in the Midwest. So, something else to keep an eye out for. Like I said, it'll probably be coming towards sometime in October, most likely. So I'm going through, I'm double checking. It didn't like the fact that I had a space between box shadow and the semicolon. This is the one thing that sometimes gets frustrating with pre-code camp, is if you don't type it exactly how they want you to, it won't give you credit, even if it would work, but just because you have an extra space. Which gets frustrating, in my opinion. Then I came and I was just double checking where I was at, how many I had done for the day, which I was aiming for 10, which then I saw I needed to finish this one to hit that goal. So this one is positioning a CSS element with using offsets. I messed up this one trying to offset. I used the reverse of what I was supposed to, which I figured out. I was reading through how to actually do it. So at first I tried typing offset, which is definitely not the correct term. I really messed that one up. You see me here trying a couple different things which did not work. I'm sure if any of you have been coding for any length of time, you know what I've done wrong here, which I'm new, I'm still learning, so I went to get a hint. I viewed it here, and that's when I saw, oh, I don't need to put offset. I just need to put the direction I want it to go. So then I reset the code and started again. I see they already have the position set to relative. So I tabbed in, and this is where I mixed up the direction. This is when I realized what I did wrong, so I have the issue where I don't always read everything on the page, which is really beginning to bite me in the rear end. It's something I need to get better at, but I'm sure we all have our own things we do that we know we need to fix. So then I did that, and have a good night, everyone.